Hello CP Calculus class, this is Miss G here. This is the video for Monday, March 23rd. It's actually Sunday, I'm working on it right now, and I'm enjoying a little bit of the rain, so I hope you had a nice weekend by the time you see this. For Monday, I have two videos. The first one is really just all the problems that I gave for homework on Friday done out. So if you understand the work that I assigned for on Friday, then you don't really have to watch these. I'm going to do all three problems. I forgot the page. Was numbers 52, 53, and 54 from section 5.1. So I'll start with that, but if you got these, you can advance forward to my next video. I made a separate video for the new information. Okay, so let's start. All right, so I'll start with 52. So we were given the second derivative as x squared, f double prime of x equals x squared, and we have to find what the original problem was, which means we have to integrate twice. So here is my problem with the second derivative. F double prime is right here, x squared. If I integrate that, I will get back to f prime. So f prime is going to equal the integral of f double prime, which is x squared, integrating x squared. And I know that you have this process down. I'm confident. You add 1 to the exponent, you get 3. You divide the current coefficient by the new exponent. So you get 1/3 x cubed plus, and we're going to call it c sub 1 because we have to integrate twice, and this will be our first c value, c sub 1. So that is the first derivative. Done with step 1, except now we want to figure out what c sub 1 is. So we go back and look what the problem gave us. It gave us that f prime of 0 is equal to 6. And we're dealing with f prime right now. And what this means is that 0, 6 is on my f prime graph. So x is 0 and 6 is really the y value in the ordered pair. But now our y value is really f prime. So we put 6 in where y would go, which would be f prime. There's our 6, and we put 0 in for x. And then we just work this out. So we get 0 plus c sub 1 equals 6, and c sub 1 is 6. And all we do then is go back to our problem, 1/3 x cubed plus c sub 1, 1/3 x cubed plus c sub 1, and substitute in the 6 for c sub 1. So we've got the first derivative now, f prime of x equals 1/3 x cubed plus 6. But we need to get back to the original function. So now we will integrate this. So integrating f prime is going to give us f of x. So f of x is the integral of what we just found, 1/3 x cubed plus 6 dx. Then we do the integration process. We add 1 to the exponent, we get x to the 4th power. We divide the current coefficient, which is 1/3, by the new exponent, which is 4. And I didn't show that out because I know you can divide fractions. 1/3 divided by 4 turns out to be 1/12. X to the 4th plus, we're going to integrate 6 with respect to x, and that's just 6x, plus our c sub 2. So we've almost got f of x. It's equal to 1/12 x to the 4th plus 6x plus c sub 2. Now we use the other information in the problem regarding our f function, and that is that f of 0 is equal to 3. That means that 0, 3 is a point on the f graph, or the graph of f. So we're going to use 0, 3 to help us find c sub 2. So 0 is substituted in for x, and the 3 is substituted in for our y, which is our f of x. So 3 equals 1/12, 0 to the 4th, plus 6 times 0 plus c sub 2. And that works out to 0 plus c sub 2 equals 3. So 3 is c sub 2. Then we just rewrite our problem for f of x, or our function f of x, and we get f of x is equal to 1/12 x to the 4th plus 6x plus our c sub 2, which is 3. And there's problem 52. Okay, we also had a request for problem 53. So let's take a look at that. So 53, the second derivative is x to the negative 2/3, and they gave us a point on f prime, and that's 8, 6, and a point on the f function, that's 0, 0. So we start by going from f double prime to f prime by integrating the expression for f double prime, which is x to the negative 2/3 dx. So we add 1 to the exponent, which is adding 3/3, that's same as 1. And we divide the current coefficient 1 by our new exponent, which our new exponent, when I add negative 2/3 to positive 3/3, is going to be 1/3. So this becomes 1 divided by 1/3, which is 3. So our first derivative is 3x to the 1/3 plus c sub 1. And as before, we're going to use the point on f prime, which is 8, 6, to help us find c sub 1. So 8 is the x value, 6 is a y value, our f prime here, and then we work it out. 8 to the 1/3 is the same as the cube root of 8, which is 2. We have a 3 in front as a coefficient, so we end up with 3 times 2 is 6. We bring down our y value of 6, and we have our f prime value of 6, and we have 6 equals 6 plus c sub 1. Subtract 6 from both sides, c sub 1 is 0. Rewrite the f prime function, and we get f prime of x is equal to 3x to the 1/3 plus our c sub 1, which turned out to be 0. So f prime of x is 3x to the 1/3. Now we have to integrate one more time to get back to the original function. So f of x, our original function, is going to be the integral of f prime, which is the integral of integral of 3x to the 1/3 dx. Again, we add 1 to the exponent, which you can probably do in your head, but it's adding 3/3, and then we divide the 3 by the current coefficient. Well, 1/3 plus 3/3 becomes 4/3, and 3 divided by 4/3 is 9/4. So we end up with 9/4 x to the 1/3 plus 3/3, which is 4/3, plus c sub 2. Now we use now that we have our f function, we use our point on the f function, which was given as 0, 0. So we're going to use 0 for x and 0 for y, and we get 0 equals 9/4 times 0 to the 4/3 plus c sub 2. This multiplies out to 0 plus c sub 2. So c sub 2 equals 0. Therefore, f of x is equal to 9/4 x to the 4/3 plus our c sub 2, which is just 0. So we might as well just write this as f of x equals 9/4 x to the 4/3. And that's that. Now, don't think our c's always come out to be 0. They did in this problem, but they don't always. All right, so let's look at our last homework problem. And that was number 54. So 54, the second derivative is x to the negative 3/2, and we're given that the point on f prime is 1, 2, and on the f function is 9, -4. So we integrate from the second derivative to get to the first derivative. We integrate the second derivative expression, x to the negative 3/2 dx. So f prime equals, add 1 to the exponent, negative 3/2, which is adding 2/2, which gives us negative 1/2 new exponent. Take the current coefficient, which is 1, divided by the new exponent, negative 1/2, we get negative 2. So our first derivative is negative 2x to the negative 1/2 plus c sub 1. Now we use the point 1, 2, or 1, 2 to solve for c sub 1. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to write x to the negative 1/2 as 1 over the square root of x. Okay, that should be familiar to you. And then we are going to substitute 1 in for x and 2 in for our f prime. So we end up with 2 equals negative 2 times 1 over the square root of 1 plus c sub 1, which works out to negative 2 times 1 plus c sub 1. And then I take negative 2 and add it to both sides. I end up with c sub 1 is equal to 4. So I rewrite f prime of x, and I get negative 2x to the negative 1/2. If I want to go back up to look here, I get, okay, so I have negative 2x to the negative 1/2 plus c sub 1, which is now 4. Now one more integration to get back to f. So f of x is going to be the integral of f prime. So we integrate negative 2x to the negative 1/2 plus 4 dx. Again, add 1 to the exponent, negative 1/2, we get 1/2. Take the current coefficient, negative 2, divided by the new exponent, 1/2. And we get a negative 4. So we get negative 4, and x to the 1/2 is just the square root of x, plus we have to integrate 4 with respect to x, and that is 4x. So plus 4x plus c sub 2. There we go. There's our f of x. F of x equals negative 4 times the square root of x plus 4x plus c sub 2. But now we're going to use our point on our f function, which was given as 9, negative 4, and we're going to solve for c sub 2. So 9 is our x, negative 4 is our y. Negative 4 equals negative 4 times the square root of 9 plus 4 times 9 plus c sub 2. Working that out, we get negative 4 times the square root of 9, which is 3, which negative 4 times 3 gives us negative 12, plus 36 plus c sub 2. We end up with negative 4 equals 24 plus c sub 2. Subtracting 24 from both sides, we get c sub 2 is negative 28. And therefore, our original function, f of x, is negative 4 times the square root of x plus 4x plus our c sub 2, which is now negative 28. So those were the 3 problems I gave you on Friday. I hope that helps, and hope you're good with that. We have a new video also for today, so take a look at that one. You'll have to click on that one because it's not attached to this one. Okay? I hope this helped. See you in the next video.